Sometimes cops are the creeps. Okay, so this takes place in 2003, Eastern Iowa, USA. I shared a small apartment with my GF and we were 23 and 20 at the time. After hanging with my sis and her BF who were 17 and 19 at the time cruising around, we decided to go have a few cold ones at my house. My sister had a nerdy college kid friend who was 19 and I used to pick up alcohol for him. Okay, I admit that. The so-called friend had parties at his house we went to and sometimes he would come over to our apt. He started showing up by himself trying to hand out with my GF when he wasn't home. It quickly started to creep her out because he would try to flirt with her and ask if we ever had problems. It was a pretty happy relationship and she didn't appreciate it. This day we were there when he called my GF's cell. I didn't own a cell until '04, to ask could I buy for him, which I did. My GF explicitly states do not let him and his friend come back to drink with us, so I told him we didn't want a loud get-together as we had already been warned by our landlord about loud parties. Now a little side story, during one of our loud parties he went out onto our balcony. When I went out like 2 minutes after, I found him calling the cops on a college party a few blocks away. Apparently he went there to stalk his ex and she was all over some guy. Obviously I told him I didn't care and to leave because that was bogus as hell. Well, you guessed it, he does the same thing to us that day. There were 5 of us there, me, GF, sis, her BF, and my little brother who was like 14 at the time. They sent 6 police who proceeded to knock. My sis answered by leaving the chain lock locked so she couldn't see much and asked who is this female. Cop says who do you think we are? Sis didn't look down to see her uniform but then realized. About 2 seconds late the door is being kicked in. Cops asking me where's the coke. And proceeded to toss my apartment. I was not a coke dealer at all, so all they found was about 10 grams of my marijuana and 2 pipes. They missed another pipe and 3.5 grams in my room, and sister's BF sold weed and had just shy of 2 Oz's on him, well over 50 grams. So yeah. Total drug busters LOL. Eventually these cops, who had just been played like bitches by a 19-year-old college nerd, get frustrated and just arrest me for providing underagers with alcohol and the weed. These charges would be dropped eventually as they had no probable cause. Of course they tried to fabricate one in court to cover their blunder, stating that my door opened the opposite way than it really did and could see beer cans and young-looking people. The blueprints of the building exposed their lie. Charges dropped. But that isn't the creepiest part. As we are exiting the courtroom I loudly declared, since I knew the cops were right around the corner and could hear me, these cops lying in court makes them more of a criminal than I will ever be. As we rounded the corner the 2 cops that came to court were standing there. The ranking officer states next time we will make sure we find some. Now one might be inclined to think he thinks I am a dealer yet still, but it was brought up that I had kicked my friend to the curb who had previously cop called out of vengeance in court to paint the picture of what really happened. So this creep is now threatening to plant drugs on me.